Hello. Hi. How are you? We're fine. Everything's fine here. Hi. We're live from the apocalypse. If you've never caught us before, we're a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that makes actual play content like streams and podcasts to raise money for nonprofits and aid organizations, and other important causes like that. We're currently raising money for Doctors Without Borders and the very important and critical humanitarian and medical aid they are delivering in Palestine currently. We are very proud and very happy to be able to support them. If you're not sure how we do things around here, we basically just ask that if you like what you see, instead of doing the normal Twitch things of subscribing or giving us bits or interacting with fake cyber currency in any way, shape, or form, and if you take one thing away from this world, this far off space future of Nephilim, it's don't do that. Don't interact with space currency, fake cyber currency. You instead take the $5 or the $6. Or whatever a Twitch sub is going for these days, and you instead give it directly to Doctors Without Borders, because they will do very good and important work with it, and we just play games on the internet. Gosh. Look at this little chaos gremlin just wants to be a part of it.
Man of the hour.
Really just wants to be a part of everything right now. Hi.
I feel like he was asleep. I feel like he was asleep a little while ago, and
then somebody threatened me, and I had to rouse him to defend me.
I mean, I don't know who would do that. Certainly.
So Lee, yeah, okay. He's just throwing himself off the edge onto me.
It's relatable.
Violence at any cost. Okay, cool. What was I saying? Yeah, just don't subscribe. If you do have an Amazon Prime sub, if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, it comes with a sub. You got to put it somewhere. Why not put it in us? You could do that if you insist, but mostly we just ask that you give money to Doctors Without Borders instead. Please don't subscribe if it's gonna cost you anything. That money can be spent in better and more important ways. Gosh, this is Nephilim Tenebris. This is a game powered by the Apocalypse game called Rust Hulks, set in a hyper-capitalist, gritty, near future space. And we're going to be meeting the cast and crew of the good ship Tenebris very, very soon. Did I forget anything? Is that all the stuff and the things? Yeah.
I think so.
We good?
You did.
All right, cool. All right. That sounds good. So then I think we can probably go ahead and get into our introductions. Starting, of course, with Alex, if you don't mind.
I don't mind at this point. Hi, I'm Alex. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be playing the Sawbones ship's doctor, Dr. Richard Courtney, who also uses he, him pronouns. A character bold enough to ask, Jojo, was it you who hacked my Foundation Net dating profile to say, worry, you'll just feel a little prick? Eggplant emoji?
Padlock helped.
It was me all along.
All right. Don't think I didn't catch that pointed. I don't mind at this point. We'll talk about that later. Eli.
Hi, I'm Eli, and I am playing the resident junker, Padlock. We both go by any and all pronouns, and I actually hacked everybody's dating profile. So, yeah, that's me.
Amazing. Mallory.
Hi, I'm Mallory. I play Luna Larson here, aka our little criminal runner, also known as Indy. We both use they, she pronouns, and that explains why Luna has a dating profile, because there definitely was not one before Padlock got a hold of it, and Padlock was like, you've been lonely. And all of a sudden, I had a dating profile. Now here we are.
That's what friends are for. Q.
Hey everyone, I'm Q, he, him. Tonight I will be playing the jockey, Captain Cassidy's star runner, also he, him, who has all of the dating profiles, and like 9 out of 10 of them are just, torso pics because, we know what we're about.
And what we're about is torsos. Rose.
Hi, I'm Rose. I use they, she pronouns. I will be playing Jojo Broxson, who is the Tenebris' engineer, who uses she, they pronouns. Jojo's dating profile is also only given by Padlock. She probably is more scanning forums on engineering sites and arguing and bullying with people, and that's her form of flirting. It's worked great. It's worked great.
Yeah, flawless victory. Flawless victory. And hello, hi. My name is Will. 0 dating profiles. But I'll be playing everybody else. And statistically, some of them probably have them. But I'll never tell. I think that is the stuff and the things. I'll be playing everybody else tonight. So with that, I think we can probably go ahead and get on in to our story. Which, when we left off last, I don't think I played any music during the countdown. I think I was too distracted. That's just fine. And when we left off last time in our story, you had just made landfall on the planet of Mars, right inside the settlement, the largest settlement, as far as any of you are aware, on the surface of Mars, known as Independence. You brought the ship down into one of the landing pits in their spaceport, as you were directed by Martian air traffic control, such as it is. And upon exiting the ship, you were received by a group of individuals wearing military garb, but kind of a motley array, not a formal uniform by any means, but instead just sort of a pieced together kit. And they were further accompanied by a woman in her mid to late 30s, if you had to guess, with red hair, freckles on her face, dressed more like a doctor or a scientist than a soldier, though carrying herself with a certain disregard for personal safety. She does not look scared or intimidated or anything like that. And she greeted you. She welcomed you, and yeah, that is where you currently find yourselves. The 5 of you, and also Nevin, your passenger, who has paid you to get him to Mars, to get him to Independence. And he moves forward as Maeve speaks, and he greets her warmly. He says, "Maeve," there's a certain amount of relief evident in his tone. She smiles at him, and she says, "Nevin, I presume it's a pleasure to finally meet you after our estranged correspondence." And he nods. He says, "It is truly an honor." And kind of remembering some manners that were clearly drilled into him at some point in his privileged life, he looks back at the rest of you and he says, "This is the crew of the Tenebris." And he opens his mouth like he's going to introduce you, unless you decide to introduce yourselves.
I'm going to step up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just hand out Captain Cassidy, Star Runner, Tenebris.
She'll raise an eyebrow. She'll say, "Captain, So this is your vessel.
Well, I fly it, but it's under different ownership. Don't worry about it.
I must admit, I know ships. Spent my whole life around ships, working on them, building them, taking them apart, putting them back together. Never seen anything quite like this.
She is a beauty. A rare find, as they say. Oh, this, and he'll just go through. This is, ooh. Have you given me your new name,
I
Mallory?
figure I would have. I would have
Okay.
dropped it at least in a quick line, like right before we got off the ship, and been like, "Oh, I didn't tell Cass."
No.
Like as we're going, be like, "I'm Indy now. Don't worry about it."
Indy.
Yeah.
Okay. You got a last name? No.
Gonna be honest, Cap. I didn't think that far.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Oh no, make one up for me. I don't know.
I got you.
Okay.
All right. So that's Indy. That is Dr. Richard Courtney. His friends call him Dickie. That's Padlock. And that's JoJo.
Padlock's not paying attention. Padlock's looking at everything else.
Joe elbows Padlock.
Oh, like turn around.
Absolutely.
Like salute.
Introductions, it's fine.
Terribly.
You're good.
Just nope.
Absolutely. And yeah, you Padlock, we'll say, since you are looking around and since you are kind of taking everything in, you're currently standing in a pit, basically, where your ship is landed. There are a bunch of these all throughout the spaceport where you've seen some vessels docked, though as you made your approach, you saw that most of them are empty. Whether that's normal or not, you're not really sure. But beyond that, you can see kind of a catwalk framework that leads out of the pit and then kind of travels between all these different landing pits, connecting them. You see some people moving along them. Most of them appear to be in keeping with the other men that are with you presently with the weapons and the body armor and etc. And beyond that, you can see the main structure of Independence itself rising up. And on your approach, you would have also gotten a good look at that. So you know that beyond the spaceport, there is what remains of a large concrete military base, somewhat hastily constructed on the surface of Mars and then abandoned in the aftermath, the ceasefire of World War III. Since it was abandoned, parts of it have been knocked down, parts of it have fallen down. The construction was not exactly up to code. The city has expanded outwards from there and kind of built up. It's nicer than a shanty town, but the constructions are very much made from like sheet metal and materials that they could get their hands on. The burned out husks of old ships or trawlers or whatever they managed to have lying around. For all of that, the people that you have seen so far appear to be fairly comfortable, fairly happy. But yeah, now that you are having this conversation with Maeve, she'll say, we have a lot to discuss. And she's speaking specifically to Nevin when she says that, but she also looks past Nevin at the rest of you and says, with all of you, if you'd be amenable to that.
I did tell our friend here that we would have we'd have a chat. see what it is y'all are doing. However, we are going to need to find a way back off this rock. We still have a delivery to acquire.
Understood. I was informed a little bit about your mission, and well, I do appreciate you taking that on behalf of everybody. Really, everybody across the system. She's gonna look at you, Cassidy. She's gonna say, more to gauge your reaction than anything else. Though I don't suppose it was out of the kindness of your heart.
I mean, we didn't have the full details when we first took on the job. We were looking to do work and get paid. And well, we're going into the thick of things. So that payment means a little something. Now, certainly.
Understood. If you'd like to follow me.
By all means.
She'll turn and she'll start walking up the scaffolding to the walkway above. And as she does so, if you go to follow her, Nevin definitely goes to follow her. One of the men with the weapons and the armor is going to like hold up a hand and look over all of you, and is going to say, "You aren't."
Yeah.
He looks past you, Cassidy, and the rest of the crew.
I'm barely legged. Come on, let me through.
Diggy just opens his lab coat. It is like, look at me. I'm not armed.
With guns, no. With other things, yes.
Some would say I am a weapon, and I like point up to my brain.
Oh, hey, look, Patty, I'm so sorry. I forgot to give you your proper honorific. Dr. Padlock, my bad.
Just a doctor, don't mind me.
Right. And you get a chuckle for the I'm barely legged comment, and he, at the rest of you being essentially unarmed, he's going to shrug. He's going to say, "Well, you might wish you were." And turn and follow after Maeve and Devin. They kind of fall into step with all of you, probably let you go ahead of them and then bring up the rear. And as you are walking through Independence, up out of the spaceport and out into the city proper, Maeve talks. Maeve talks about Independence a little bit. And as you go, she says, as you're probably aware, this here's the largest independent settlement on the entire planet. Largest independent settlement in the entire system, for that matter, these days. Things have been good here for about a decade now. Real quiet. Maybe a little too quiet. Maybe that's our fault for getting comfortable, but after Takamagahara 4 went down, after all those people died, after the ceasefire was declared, I guess we got a little complacent. And it seems like these days the Earth Coalition is looking to collect on what they see as an investment back when they terraformed this planet. You ran into the blockade, I'm sure.
Part of it, yeah.
But you got past.
Slippery.
Need to get him down to the planet.
Do we have to?
Well, that in and of itself is a testament to your ability and your tenacity. There ain't no two ways about it. War is coming to Mars. First, it'll be independence. Once this place falls, once this city goes down, it's going to be a real clear sign to the rest of the world. All those settlements, there ain't going to be nobody to stop them. People are going to pack up their families, their lives, as best they can. Get the hell off this rock. Go somewhere else. Not sure where. Doubt they know either. People only come here if they ain't got nowhere left to go.
Do you have a plan?
That's best we can. People love this place. It's their home. They'll fight for it. Their ships, their weapons, not nearly enough of them. Not to hold off a full-scale attack, much less mount a counter. But we're working on that. More people come every day. Volunteer, offering to do what they can. Nobody knows exactly how many people live on this planet. Never been a formal census. If everybody shows up, might be enough. She does not sound overly confident as she says that. But that's about all we can. It's about all we can hope for at the moment. Tranquility's not going to intervene. Takamagahara is not going to intervene. Nobody's coming to our defense. As far as they're concerned, we're squatting on their property.
All right. So this package that we're getting and bringing back, that's some kind of Hail Mary?
Remains to be seen. But at the very least, Nevin here feels that it would be disastrous to let it stay where it is. And I can't disagree with that. We need people to come here to help. People like Nevin. Skills and expertise. Because it's the right thing to do, not because they're going to get paid. Can make a lot more money elsewhere.
Well, we're certainly in the middle.
As you're having this conversation, you're walking through the streets of Independence, and once again, you see people all around you. Most of them are armed. Most of them are openly carrying weapons, firearms for the most part, which is maybe a little unusual to those of you. I mean, you've been on the buckle, so it's not that strange, but it seems like it's pretty much just standard practice here. For all of that, though, for the fact that everybody's walking around with a gun at their hip, people seem friendly. You can see that there is a real sense of community here. People helping each other, constructing new lean-tos, new shacks where there's open room for them. People just sort of standing on the corners with big pots of food, just sort of distributing it, handing it out. Don't appear to be asking for anything in return. Just seems like standard practice. There's not the people waiting in line to receive the food from the pot. There's no sense of shame or desperation or anything like that. People are making very friendly chatter and banter with each other. You get the sense that this is much more of a community gathering than it is like a soup kitchen or charity or anything like that. And I think if Maeve catches your looks as you're taking all of that in, she'll say, she'll sort of smile and she'll say, people here might not have much, but they're happy to share it.
It's a nice thing you have here.
It's a hard one.
Good.
Came at a cost.
Yeah. Good things often do. This place reminds me of home a little bit.
Where is that?
Jupiter.
You're colonial.
Yeah. The Union. Very close knit. Very, very much like this. No shame in looking after each other.
That's all we got. At the end of the day. You walk with Maeve deeper into that base, that military base structure. And you pass more of these residences. You see shops, like there are definitely businesses that are set up here. But the you pass bars, cafes, maybe even like a clinic or two, and they all have signs, clear things demarcating what they are, but they're painted on sheets of sheet metal. You maybe see a neon sign here or there, but it's clearly something that has been fashioned by hand. The letters reshaped and reformed, and yeah, you hear sounds of people talking, you hear singing, you hear some instruments, I think, even as you move throughout the streets. And as you head deeper, you're going at an incline. Jojo, this would probably be more evident to you, given your legs. I think it becomes clear to you before everybody else that you are definitely heading down. Even if the slope is gentle, until finally you reach a point where there are large metal doors closed, and the faded letters that have been spray painted onto the doors, almost completely worn off with time, read restricted area, level 5. And there are 2 more men with weapons standing, flanking that door. But as you approach, they see Maeve walking with you. They see the other soldiers. They nod, and one of them keys something into the wall control, and the doors start to slide open. And beyond, you can see that as the rest of the military base, as the rest of this base has been converted into a city, basically, into a home, a place for people to live, this part retains its original purpose. It's clear to you that this was probably the central command area of the base. All the consoles and instruments are still more or less intact. The technology looks a little bit outdated because it is several decades old at this point, almost 40 years old at this point. But it's been repaired. It's been kept in working order. You see a few like holographic displays showing the planet, the space around the planet. You see it reflecting the blockade ship that you passed. Beyond, you see people moving around, more people dressed like Maeve in these sort of long gray coats, few more men with weapons milling around as well. And Maeve kind of gestures to it, somewhat sardonically, as she says, and this is it. And this is the beating heart of what we got going for us.
I must say, ma'am, despite it having a retro feel, it's pretty damn impressive that you keep all this running with a... I know a thing or two about running an old girl. I'm impressed.
Well, it's not just me. Of course, I was barely even alive when this place was built.
I always find hand-me-downs a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, you and me both. So,
Real quick.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna move over to Padlock so it's very quiet. Just very quietly.
Oh.
We're in a new space.
Mm-hmm.
Know you're going to be tempted to fuck with everything. Ask first.
No. Oh.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking that. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
I was absolutely eyeing a bunch of stuff.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And he knows that about him. Okay. All right. Cool. Ask first.
Ask first, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you. And just clap on the back and then head back over towards the table.
yeah, and Maeve will lead you through the base. I think as you get in, the men with the weapons who are walking with you will kind of scatter to their different responsibilities. But she'll lead you through the command center to what was probably someone's office at some point, some general, some brass higher up's office. Clearly been converted into more of a lab than anything else. There's no like furniture really in there, just more equipment, more science equipment, more displays. This technology seems to be newer, fresher. And I think, let's see, for Padlock and JoJo, I think you've actually never seen anything like the equipment that is here in Maeve Delaney's office. Doesn't look like anything you've ever encountered before. Not just in the sense that it is like new or state of the art. It just looks unique and strange.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go back to Cassidy. I'm gonna lean in.
It's just
I'll look at it. Look at it.
don't ask me. You ask.
Maeve,
This is their home. You ask them.
Oh, then I'll just like abruptly turn around and look at Maeve and be like, "What's that?"
She'll smile at you and she'll start explaining what it is. It's a highly scientific instrument that she has. I think in this particular case, it's like an experimental weapon of some kind that is being fabricated here. But she emphasizes like it's a still very much in prototype territory. Haven't really even had a chance to look at it yet, but the weapon supplies, our stocks here, stockades, were significant. This was a military base after all, but after this long, supplies are starting to thin out. We're going to have to probably start manufacturing ourselves, especially if these blockades keep up to the best of our abilities.
well, if you ever need a pair of hands, find no finer than pads at tearing things up and putting things back together. Especially with something like this.
Well, I appreciate that. So, Tenebris. What's next?
What's next is we go and get what we were paid to go and get. Thinking back on the table, because that showed the display.
Yeah.
It showed there was only one like big ship, right?
A warship, yeah, and that's what you saw on your approach to the planet as well.
Okay.
The ship that approached you, that hailed you, was a fighter, which split off from the main ship. Fortunately,
Gotcha.
when you did what you did, you were outside of the warship's sensor range.
Oops.
Yep.
So we've got to get back to the rail. I doubt very highly they're just going to leave that spot open for very long. So guess we'll need a distraction.
Well, we might be able to help with that.
Good. How long has that warship been here?
Showed up a couple of months ago.
Okay.
Think I can probably count on one hand the number of ships that have gone through since it's been up there. We don't, we're not a trade hub or anything like that. We don't get regular shipments, but people bring things here for sale, and we do buy them when they're worth it.
Right.
Independence is largely self-sufficient. We produce our own food, but when it comes to weapons, when it comes to trade, we still rely on people trying to sell things where they're not going to get asked any questions.
Fair. Have they sent any emissaries? No. Got it.
All this, and she kind of gestures skyward as if like pointing to the blockade itself.
Right.
All this is based on the claim that they have staked here on Mars when they started the terraforming process decades ago. They started making this place habitable. The argument is that since it's their machines, designer organisms, that payload that they dropped on the planet's surface that made this place habitable, their property. For them to admit anything else would be for them to potentially forfeit that claim. So they just showed up, acting like they own the place.
Gotcha.
Are they preventing people from leaving as well, or is it just coming onto the planet?
It's both.
Do I know if there are any like intersolar treaties or like Geneva conventions that would allow, even in wartime, some sort of like evacuation or something?
Oh, interesting. Well, there was a treaty signed, like a ceasefire, years and years and years ago after World War III basically stopped. But as far as like extradition or anything like that is concerned, those terms weren't really laid out. It's basically just the conflict stopped. Mars was left to its own devices. Mars was basically left to sit there. It's just in the process, people started colonizing it as well.
Right. Okay. So like, I'm wondering if there's even like an agreement between Luna and Earth about like how to deal with like medical emergencies or refugees or something in a military conflict, to see if that's something we could possibly leverage to get ourselves out of here without needing to kill more people.
That is an interesting question. I mean, there are, if I remember correctly, the Tranquility Accords, which I believe was the name of the treaty that was signed. So you might have to take a closer look at that to see exactly what terms are laid out in it. It's something that you could potentially try to claim. The question is, would they care? And if they don't care, would anyone act on that? Like, would anybody intervene? Like, if there were Geneva Conventions and they violated the Geneva Conventions,
right?
Would anybody bring them to justice? Hey.
He is just he's been brooding on the fact that we shot this person out of the sky, and the idea of having to kill more people to get out of here, even if it would be not only to protect ourselves, but for quote unquote a better cause, he's having a lot of issues with. So I think he's really digging into like what he knows of tranquility and like sort of movements and agreements and thoughts about like these sort of moral questions, to see if there's some loophole that he can think of to at least suggest, to be like, well, if we did this, we might be able to get out of here on a Section 47 sort of deal or whatever.
Right. And I think that's a fair point. I think that is something that you could potentially roll for. Probably with Brain, I think.
Okay. Brain is a good statistic for a little Nicky. All right. Well, that's a 7 + 2 is 9.
Very cool. So yeah, I think you can ask a question. 2 questions, actually. You get to hold 2 questions. So the analyze something questions generally apply to objects, but I think we can kind of loosely interpret some of them. I think probably where did it come from? Who made it originally? Jumps out at me as a question, specifically in this context. I am getting attacked. which I think Dickie, your mind starts racing in the context of like the atrocities of war that you've already witnessed and the potential for more of them. And you remember like reading over and studying the Tranquility Accords. You remember going through all of that information. And you know that there are provisions in place for this, but I think as you remember that, you also realize that if you were dealing with tranquility in this situation, they are a society that considers themselves, that fancies themselves very elevated, very civilized. And they would absolutely probably abide by rules of engagement. They would practice, at least on the surface, a moral code. But knowing what you know about the Earth Coalition Party, a sort of a cabal, for lack of a better word, who has agents who regularly just slaughter their own citizens for the crime of second guessing the party. It's hard to imagine them honoring anything like that.
I'm wondering if there's a way. And he looks up at Cassidy. It's like, is there a way we could get tranquility ships here?
I mean, possibly. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking that if there are official representatives of tranquility here, then they might be inclined to potentially enforce humanitarian efforts and not simply allow Earth to starve these people into submission. The Accords are very clear in what is and is not allowed in this sort of conflict.
Okay. Now, on the one hand, it would certainly disrupt what the coalition has going on. On the other hand, that's adding another player.
The tranquility is already involved. We're already going there. Right? And in fact, if we bring their warships here, then they're not there while we're there.
True. I mean, well, we can't really make a call currently. They're blocking the communique.
Right.
It's a nice thought, Maeve says. But tranquility doesn't have a stake in helping the people of Mars. Our best bet, the whole reason that the war happened in the first place, was because Takamagara felt that they had a claim to the planet, since they were here first, technically. It was their folks that the terraforming bomb killed. So it kicked off the whole conflict, the whole war. But after they lost 4, they don't seem to be too interested in taking the planet back. I don't think they're going to be riding to our defense, and even if they did, they just want the planet themselves.
Maeve, I know Independence doesn't have a lot of resources, but y'all got a junk ship, one that barely flies.
Got plenty of those.
One you wouldn't mind missing?
What are you thinking?
Well, you send up one, doesn't have to be anywhere. They'll start hailing it. No one's going to respond. They'll focus on it, blow it out of the sky. While they're focused on that ship, we go out the back door.
It's a good thought. Good
Like
work.
that
Maybe-
time we didn't pay at the pizza palace, at the pizza pit.
Exactly. You remember you remember our heist. That's right.
It wasn't a heist. You just shoved me out the front door and then you all ran.
Some plans have more thought than others.
Well, maybe we can add on to it. Maybe,
Sure.
the warship is jamming communications, right? So it's emitting frequencies, which means that if there's a way to disrupt that in a way that cloaks us at the same time, and use this ship as a decoy to do that, then that might buy us a small window in which we can slip through without even being detected.
We don't send
Make a
up a
blind
ghost
spot.
ship. We send out a ship sending out a signal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like it.
that way they'll never see us leave at the same time. So instead of two ships being clocked, it's only one ship and us cloaked underneath it.
It's a good thought. It's a narrow window, but it's a good thought.
Hey, we're great
got
with narrow
power.
windows.
We got a good pilot.
So, I think to your question of what's next, we need to borrow a ship
Please.
with the intent of never giving it back. Sorry about that.
Pretty please.
It'll be in
What
good
she
hands,
said.
though.
Oh, I know it's going to be good when you do the raptor claws. God,
That
it's
means
my
that
favorite
means they're
part.
real excited.
You say that, and you have this exchange, you have this conversation amongst yourselves. Maeve seems a little lost in thought. She's listening to you all, like banter and joke with each other and all of that good stuff. She's kind of taking all of that in, and you see her sort of like a smile breaks across her face. And when you turn to ask her about the ship, she's kind of lost in thought, clearly. And her gaze is not on any of you, but it is sort of wandered to a section of the wall in this office. If you follow the gaze, you can see that there is a piece of metal there, sort of hanging on the wall that I think you can probably recognize. You definitely could, Jojo, as part of a ship's hull. And the edges of it have been smoothed over. The writing on it in this sort of stylized, blocky font, it's not as clear as it once was. But you can still see the word Nephilim emblazoned on it.
I think Joe rolls over and just whistles a little bit and says, "That must have been some retirement party. Nephilim? It's a nice name. Good ring to it." Tell me about it.
Eyes shifting to the piece.
It was, I was part of a crew once, like you all. Just trying to keep the lights on by any means necessary. She's a scrapper ship by trade. Hell of a crew. When she says that it's a scrapper ship, Jojo, and maybe the rest of you too, you probably realize, like, you've heard of the Nephilim. It's a famous ship because, yeah, what's up?
Hey, real quick.
Yeah. What's
Was
up?
the crew known? Was the crew well known?
Are you asking if the pilot was well known?
And yeah.
Because the pilot was extremely well known.
Mm-hmm.
The pilot of the Nephilim is the only living human being to run the rail network without any guidance.
Yeah.
Paget Aeschylus.
But what about the rest? Because I know about Patch. We know. What about the rest of the crew?
Some of them, yeah, absolutely. Some of them. Paget was definitely the most famous, especially in the aftermath of what went on when the crew kind of went their separate ways. A lot of them just sort of fell off the map, fell off into obscurity. But you would know the name Nephilim specifically because this was the ship that did run the rail network without guidance, without inertia dampeners, without anything, specifically to disarm the bombs that had been set onto the rail gates themselves so that the rail network wasn't destroyed by terrorists, basically Christian terrorists. The name of the captain, Grace Miller, would absolutely be known to you. You'd know about Paget. I think now, seeing that on the wall, it clicks together about Maeve being one of those crew members. I think those are probably the big ones.
Heard a thing or two about that.
Cassidy looks to Nevin. Just goes, "You didn't tell me it was the Maeve. You didn't." Okay, I have follow-up questions that are for another time, not this time. Right now. Can we get my two to look at a ship and start fucking around with it?
Of course we can.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can
just
absolutely
fucking
fine.
grip it and rip
I'm gonna
it,
be so
baby.
normal about this. I'm
Slump that
warning you right now. I'm gonna be
dude.
like the most normal anyone has
Prep one
ever
for the
been.
big boy.
Thank you so much for your donation.
Gracias, mi amor.
I was looking to see if I could hold up the boy, but he has fled. I'm not sure where he is.
Off the cause mischief.
Yeah, truly.
Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know it was gonna be happening so soon. The rail run. I have to talk to you about it at some point.
Oh, you're a fan.
That's all he talks about.
At least once a week.
Yeah, fan is putting it real mild.
I'm sure there's fan fiction somewhere that he's written.
I think he has a poster.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, he definitely has a poster. I sit underneath it with our booth sometimes while I
only
wait for
clean-
Cassidy to find me.
Only clean part of his room.
I'm gonna need all of you to back the fuck up off me. They are 100% correct. This was uncalled for. This is a completely accurate character attack. At some point, like again, not right now. Doesn't have to be right now. I gotta know the math because it is wild. I'm like halfway there. A third of the way there. A quarter of the way there. We're getting there.
Did you say you got to know the math?
Yeah.
What math?
The rail. The calculations for going through the rail.
Oh, Maeve, I think I like you.
Paget didn't do math.
I kind of.
Paget stole cars, and Paget was good at flying. Padgett didn't do math.
Hell yeah.
I think everyone sort of sees him go into the Mind Palace.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen
Captain, is this
with a
where we need
foot.
to? Is this where we need to practice the letting go that we talked about?
Mm.
Maybe.
Hey, Maeve, while my captain has a existential crisis, if you ever want a tour of the Tenebris, be happy to take you along for a roll along. But until then, happy to look at these ships with me and Pad.
I would I'd love that. Ship's fascinating. Ships, but yeah. That ship is fascinating, and I would love to get a chance to look at it, to talk to it.
Indy, maybe it's time to find the captain a watering hole.
Yeah, I think I'll take care of Cass if you all want to get started on everything.
I just, Maeve, do you have a medical center or someone who's running a clinic
Or
overall in
booze.
charge? Well, yeah, that too.
There are a couple of clinics. Why?
Well, I just, I could help, or see. I mean, we're going off planet, so if there's anything anyone needs, I can see what you're lacking. Maybe bring some back.
Yeah. About that. So the idea is a solid one. Junk ship, false signal, letting you pass. But sort of need to ask you a favor before you go.
Oh, and we were just getting so friendly.
Well, I think given the captain is, I think you need to talk to Indy about that.
So there's no math.
I will help Cap wrap his mind around that one. What kind of favor do you need? We'll do our best.
And she kind of like gives you a sympathetic look, Cassidy, and she says, "You want to know the truth?"
With every fiber of my being, I need to know. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Padgett lied to get onto the ship. She had never even piloted before.
Ye fucking ha.
I'm just gonna give you a sedative right now. That's all right.
You know, all I'm saying is I offered to teach you how to steal a car when we first met, and you told me no. We can pick that back up.
Sedative.
Yeah, Dickie reaches into his pocket and is like, "There you go."
In my stupor, I heard watering hole. Sorry, you said favor. Let's deal with that before I finish the supernova that is this mental breakdown that I'm about to have.
Mm-hmm.
There's a much smaller settlement, long ways from here, far side. It's called Far Side. No ships in, no ships out. These places, these small, hell, some of them are just ranches, little more than ranches. They ask for assistance, that medical aid, supplies. We do our best to deliver if we can. they called for medicine. Some kind of sickness that's spreading. But we haven't had the means to get it to them.
Did they say anything more about symptoms or?
It's seems like a pretty straightforward case. Consumption.
Okay.
Be easy to treat normally, but we got to get him the medicine first.
Cassidy, we have the stores. I should have whatever.
Do it. Do what you got to do.
I can do that now if you all want to fix up that ship.
There's Atmo patrols. It's the real issue.
Right.
Even if you make the run in atmosphere, they're going to be on you.
These people, just your honest opinion, would they blow us out of the sky, or if we tried to fight, or do you think we could outrun them? Or is there just no hope?
You might be able to outrun them, but they will try to blow you out of the sky. Will do their best.
A lot of people have.
And they have all failed.
I'm still
That's why I'm
standing.
asking you.
Okay.
I know that this isn't your problem or what you're looking for. I know that you're on a job and that you work for pay. We can pay you.
We can work for more than just pay.
Nevin gives you a big smile.
I am going to look at him. You're throwing off my timeline.
Hell, just seeing that scrap of Nephilim, that's payment enough.
I wouldn't go that far.
For me.
I'm upset now. I can't even drink about it because I have to fly.
I was gonna say, would flying make you feel better?
Want to do some times
see.
tables?
We'll see when we get in the ship. I know the pot is not calling the kettle nerdy.
I gotta get the shots in where I can, boss.
No.
This is a once in a 5-year opportunity for me, babe.
Listen, right now is not the time. I'm very fragile.
I know, Bobby.
There's no math. There's no fucking.
So, Alex has a question. Is this something we need the full Tenebris to do, or is this something that Cassidy and I can do as the rest of you are preparing schemes and stuff for this ship?
The supply run?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In theory, it is something that you could do, but you wouldn't be able to do you wouldn't be able to do the fancy maneuverability stuff that you rely on JoJo for. You wouldn't necessarily be able to. Someone would have to fire the Hellfire cannon.
I was wondering if we could use another ship, something maybe faster. That's not
faster and smaller.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, Maeve would say we could give you something faster.
Faster and smaller?
We could give you something faster and smaller, but that means that it'd only take 1 or 2 hits at most before you go down.
That's fine.
I'm fully confident in Cassidy's ability to make sure that doesn't happen to him and me by association.
Us? What do you...
I was
Why are you
making a
adding
joke,
extra-
Captain.
Why are you adding extra words?
I'm sorry. If you have to explain the joke, I know it's not funny. Dickie just sort of like plops back down.
It's just going to just forehead to forehead. Hey,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, no jokes.
Okay.
Yeah?
Done. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What did I just tell y'all? I'm fragile.
Captain, in your fragile state, you would rather use a hardier ship. You know I'm happy to help out on the Tenebris.
No, I need to put some heat behind me, I think. Also, I want you and Pad to start working on the dummy ship. If that's okay, mate. I know we're just sort of jumping in here.
I was going to offer if I assumed you'd want to go as a crew. I assumed you'd want to go in your ship. I could give you something smaller, something faster too, but honestly, wouldn't recommend it. I think this is one instance where you're going to want protection.
Listen, my timetable is already off. Not happy about it is the thing. I can't even call back to let the people know that I'm running behind. So I'm trying to divide and conquer. Fine. Everyone on the ship. We're going right now.
Hey, Captain, think of it this
Yeah.
way. You can still be the first person to actually pilot the rings with math.
I know. That's already where my brain is, but I still have to get over the fact
There was no
that
math the first time.
there was no math the first time.
Again,
because
offer
now,
to teach you how to steal a car.
hey,
Big deal.
I got it. But like, how does stealing a car help you run through the rails like that?
I don't know.
Because
Ask
the question is now, if it wasn't math, what the fuck was it?
Cats, your brain works faster automatically and off instinct than it could ever do by thinking.
I don't know that that's
World's
true.
best computer.
You have to have the.
If it makes you feel any better, and on the subject of the decoy ship, I'd be happy to put that together for you. I mean, you know who I am. And she kind of holds out one hand, and you see a reddish glow start to shine from her palm, and you see it sort of detach itself into these minuscule glowing red motes that swirl around her hand and construct in real time, right in front of your eyes, a tiny to scale model of the Tenebris. If it makes you feel any better, I was holding that ship together and rebuilding it the entire time.
Joe's like jaw on the floor. Like, I thought I'd be the only one who knew what it was like to have a part of them be the ship, playing pipes for legs. Cool.
We have tech wizard bullshit now. That's a thing that. Hold on.
They're nanites. They're just unique. They're just
that they certainly are.
Normally nanobots, nanotech, kind of, it infuses you, it makes you stronger, makes you faster, makes you more dangerous, or you send it out externally as like a reconnaissance spy type thing. At one point, I died a little bit, and my crew used some of their own nanotech to bring me back to life. Left some of it behind in my body, as it turns out, and well, I was born here on Mars. The whole planet was terraformed by first gen nanotech designer organisms and all of that. Everyone here on Mars, we all got a little bit of it living inside of us. that nanotech fused with what was already in my blood my entire life from being born here. Made this. I can build things, take them apart, heal people.
Shit, do I have a type? Anyway,
I mean,
that's
quick
miracle.
answer is yeah. Second answer is you should
Yeah.
probably talk to Dr. Dickey. But yeah, okay, we're gonna go now because my entire paradigm has shifted, and I don't know what to do with my hands.
I'll
It
get
was
that
nice
decoy
meeting you.
ship ready for you.
Yeah, this was enlightening in ways that I did not expect.
Ditto. Pleasure meeting you, Maeve.
It's a pleasure to meet y'all as well. Really, I appreciate you doing this. I know you don't have to, and I know you got other priorities elsewhere, and I know you're putting yourselves in a lot of harm's way.
Yeah,
Means
but
a lot.
y'all do the same.
Well, that's what we do here on Mars. We look after each other.
Life is hard out here. There's a way we can lessen that for some people, and it's nothing at all.
She nods and she smiles at you.
Now, if you want to play indie, if you want to pay indie, that's probably good. They get stabby if they don't see payment every now and then.
Look, sometimes I'm willing to work for people. It's just that the pay part becomes important when we get places, and then Dickie's like, but I wanted pizza, and then I have to go get that. And Dickie says that we can't run out the door again. I'm just...
We have a pizza fund for a reason. So we
And
can get
I
pizza.
and we need to reinvest
You
money
have a
back in the
pizza
pizza
fund.
fund. Yeah.
I do.
Yes.
Or I could shove Dickie again.
I do think as we're sort of getting ready to leave, Dickie's been like looking at some of that weird weapons tech that's floating around.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I know this isn't asking for a payment, but is that something we could take with us?
Well, I mean, it ain't working yet, but
No. But Dickie's sort of looking over at Pad, like, I think Dr. Padlock would like a challenge.
Aw.
Maybe?
Pad's been like focused on the fact that they just produced something out of their hand. It's been talking about nanotech, and I've just been like in a loop off to the side.
Everyone's paradigm has shifted a little
Just
bit.
you.
Wipe.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure I can give you whatever you want to take with you out of all the things that I'm working on. If that's what you want.
That certainly seems like plenty of payment to me.
I agree.
Heard.
Well, and she'll move to the door and she'll say, Gregor. And one of the men with the weapons and the armor, big, burly man, most of the hair's gone off of his head. He's got craggy sort of features. Will walk over from where he was talking to some of his fellows, and Maeve will say, Tenebris crew here is going to deliver the shipment to Farsad. Can you get him set up with the vaccine? And she'll look at you, Dickie, maybe assuming that you're the one who's willing to take that.
Yep. Yeah.
And he gestures for you to follow him.
I do.
Cool. In the meantime, the rest of you doing or saying anything?
I think Cassidy just needs to go to the ship. This has been a lot, both just sort of in the grand scheme of things and also him personally. And so I think there's just a cloud of math around his head as he is gonna head back to the ship.
I am following to make sure that Cass is okay.
Cassidy, as you
Yeah.
go to leave, and Luna, you can go after him, but I think Nevin is gonna kind of catch up with you, Cassidy, and say, not even a goodbye.
We're coming back. This is a quick milk run. Before he finishes the statement, I'm gonna pull him in and kiss him. My bad. I'll see you when I get back.
He takes a second to kind of like recover from the kiss, and then he says, I was right about you.
How so?
All this space outlaw cowboy stuff.
Are you saying it's not true?
You care?
No. I never said I didn't care. I just said I like to get paid.
I think
Going
you care more than you like getting paid.
You'll never prove that. I am going to take my hat. I'm going to put it on his head. Hold on to that for me until I get back. And try not to flirt with Maeve. I may be a little jealous.
She might be your type. She is not my type.
Fair enough. Check. And he's going to turn and head out now.
And Luna, if you want to catch up with them, you are more than welcome to at that point.
Yeah, I think you hear me slightly jog because I am much shorter than you, so I have to catch up. But when I do, I'll fall into step beside you. So your whole worldview just kind of got a little rocked.
There's no math.
There's no math.
She was a car thief.
Mm-hmm.
Found her way into the pilot's seat.
Yeah.
She had a nano wizard reconstructing the ship around them.
Yeah.
I don't think Pat can do that.
You know, I don't think Pat can do that either. I think that's probably a safe assumption, unless Pat's got a lot that they could do that they don't even know about.
So I don't really know where that puts my whole thing, you know?
I don't either yet, but I figure that we can probably figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, you have a friend that has stolen cars and conned their way onto a ship when they really have no skill or business being there. So that's like sort of filled on the ship.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I have learned from you. Like I did that.
It does
How do you
make me
think?
feel a little better, honestly.
How do you think I got back onto Tranquility? Like into the Institute? I went
Hmm.
with the Peacekeepers. Diggy saw
Look
me.
at
I was
you.
in the whole uniform.
Look at you go. I'm really
Yeah.
nice. So did you like kill him or did you just knock him out? Now I just need to know.
Oh, I just knocked him out.
Oh, well,
Listen, listen. You know me. We're up to
Yeah.
4.
yeah, you're a much kinder soul than I, honestly.
I try and keep it to the kneecaps.
Okay. No,
Well,
fair.
well, it's a bit fuzzy around the kneecaps.
Yeah.
So.
You can always go for the knees or the eyes. You know?
I mean, yeah, see, but I do straight bullets, and like they like to go through the brain
yeah.
and then out. So like eye, probably not so much. Knee though, probably.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, I just deal in like knives and like she pulls one just out of her shirt randomly. See, like this one, perfect length for when you need to do something like that because it's not going to go all the way through. It's just like a blinding situation. It's not a killing situation. Because again,
Right.
you and Dickie have taught me something about the value of human life or whatever, and then I'm supposed to not kill every person that stands in my way.
Right. Because then we're just the same as the Earth Coalition, and they're
Exactly.
they're a bunch of fuckheads. So
Yeah. Although to be fair, back when I did kill a lot of people, we were better than the Earth Coalition. We were just working through some stuff, you know?
yeah, absolutely. Just
Yeah.
working through
Just working
some
through
things. Okay. Drugs.
Flask. A swig never hurt anyone. I know you have to pilot, but like,
Yeah, no, just
why
like
not? Why not?
that doesn't count as drinking. We're fine.
Yeah, exactly. So you and I are just gonna go let you ride out your existential crisis. We're gonna go on our milk and egg run. You'll come back and see your boy again. You'll get your hat back. We'll go to the next thing. Timeline back to normal. Restored.
Yep. Well, mostly. We're gonna be like days off at this point. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't think there's any fixing that one though. Not unless Padlock does discover that they've got some sort of super nano something or other.
We can fucking hope. All right. Game time.
All right,
you all
let's go.
y'all have that conversation. I want to check in on Padlock and JoJo and see if they want to do anything. But before that, I want to quickly hop over to Richard, Dr. Dickie. As you walk with Gregor to the supplies, presumably, he strikes you as a stoic man. Burly, bristly sort of hair, craggy face, some scars visible on his body for sure. And as you walk, he kind of looks at you sidelong, down at you, sidelong. So, Richard, was it?
Yes. You can call me Dickie if it makes you feel comfortable.
Richard Courtney.
I think there's a slight sinking feeling. Dickie's like, yes.
He looks at you and gives you a big smile. Some of his teeth are fine. Some of them have seen better days. Some of them are solid gold. He says, I know your mother. And I think that is where we're going to take a little break.
I can't fucking stand you. In my brain, I was like, you know what? I should probably go with him. That's fine. And then I was like, nah, we'll just go ahead and head to the ship. It'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll
Now,
be fine.
I am.
I like to bring up the point again that every single week we go, you know, Dickie's mom could just die. It's fine.
It has
All of
not
us
stopped.
collectively.
What if this is a good friend of mother's? What if
A good
Extra
friend of
scared.
mother exists.
I'm
Does she have those?
Does
Does she have those?
I wouldn't worry about it.
I don't think she does, though.
I guess find out in roughly 10 minutes. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Just
See you
ending
real
on
soon.
an eep. from Richard.
Hey y'all.
Yep.
Mhm.
Here we are. We're back. Things are
the
fine. Things are good. Ready to get back into it. And I think we're gonna dive right back into it. I think the question on everybody's mind.
What's going on with Padlock and JoJo? Is the
That's
quest?
what I was gonna say.
Oh, good. Good. I'm deflecting. I'm sorry. Shut up.
That is what I was gonna say, though. I do want to check in on Padlock and JoJo.
Yeah.
Yes.
That Tenebris ESP or whatever.
Everybody else can stew in it for a little while. Yeah, so Cassidy and Luna walked away from Maeve. Padlock, JoJo, what are the two of you doing?
Thought we were gonna eventually go back to the ship. Maeve's
I mean,
still
that
with
is-
us? Or like
That is the direction that they're heading in, and if you're just following after them, that's totally fine. That's perfectly valid. But I thought I would check in and see if there was anything else you wanted to do. Any conversations you might want to have, or anything like that. That's not a prompt. The answer can be no.
I know we wanted to have the talk at some point, but I don't know that we
Yeah.
wanted to talk in front of Maeve.
Well, and
No.
I think that's fair, and I think Maeve is perfectly content to just sort of like Maeve is there if you want to talk to Maeve, but if you don't engage Maeve, Maeve is going to mind her own business and do other things. But I think that there is a moment, I will say, when Cassidy starts walking away, Luna rushes after him, and there's an awkward moment as the two of you realize you have been left alone.
You ever been able to do anything like that? Nanites?
Like what Maeve can do?
Yeah.
I no, I don't think.
It's not an attack. It's okay. I was just curious. Making conversation.
Oh, well, I don't know the extent of it. Um,
Yeah,
so I don't
guess-
even know if that's a possibility. Wouldn't have to scrap anymore if I could.
Yeah, but where's the fun in that? Then we wouldn't be able to scrap,
True, that's boring.
right? How are you feeling after everything? I know you talked to Doc and everything, but
Um, I guess okay would be the normal response but
you know I don't like the normal response. I like the true response. How are you doing, Pat?
um I'm nervous about it.
Sure. Of course. It'd be weird if you weren't.
Are you okay?
The normal response would be, yeah.
But I don't like normal responses either. So I hurt you, right?
Part of you did. Part of you that doesn't remember. Part of you doesn't even remember the first time it happened.
Pat's gonna get really sad because Pat didn't realize there was a first time.
Joe sees that and shakes her head like, no, it's not a. Pat, I'm not scared of you. I've never been scared of you. Even when you had a screwdriver in my shoulder I wasn't scared of you. I'm scared for you. Maybe I am scared for me too, but not for the same reasons you think.
But what if it happens again? And I
Figure it out. Look. We don't know why or what triggers this. But I still want to be close to you if you want to be close to me. If you want to be my friend, if you. I'm not scared. And we'll figure it out. We got a ship full of geniuses. Doctor.
you might not be scared, but I'm scared.
Pad. The Tenebris tried to kill me. And I'm still here. Some pirates tried to kill me, and I'm still here. I understand you being scared. I'm just scared for you, but I don't want you to be so scared that we can't just be us.
I just don't want you to keep giving and giving and giving and getting things taken away from you at the same time.
I think Joe takes a moment. It's like, I've I've never given anything more than I haven't wanted to. Freely, openly. I have had some losses, sure. Some things, some dice not roll my way, but sugar, that's life. And I'd do it all again. I'd give my arms away too, if it meant I could stay along with this crew and next to you. Sure glad I don't have to. Honestly, I'm getting off mighty pretty. Still got these. Still got this. Still got you. Stay with me. We got plenty of more shit to fix. I ain't ever see you break anything you can't fix. Me especially.
Okay. If you're gonna be there too.
I promise. I got. She dangles at like the gears and charms that sort of litter her prosthetic pipe legs. I got plenty more space here for you to add things to. There's somewhere probably a flash of the first time Pad hung a charm on Jojo's legs to Jojo's protests and saying, "Don't do that. I hate how it jangles," and doing other things. And then another time of someone trying to remove them and Jojo like socking them in the face for touching them. Goes back. Plenty more. I want to be here. Let's be here. Like holds out her hand.
Yeah. Pat will go and take Jojo's hand. Yeah. We can fix it together.
You're goddamn right we can. Jojo has like the biggest smile on her face that like has been a minute that she's seen, and just gives like a squeeze. Ain't nothing we can't fix. It's been years. Ain't nothing we can't fix. That's just a fact.
Do you think we could scrap that plane before we have to send it out into the orbit?
Yeah.
Just like strip it down to bare bones and take some more scrap with us before we leave.
We could hollow that motherfucker out. I mean, there's only one person up for that type of job.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because some of those stuff look pretty interesting, and I know Cassidy said you had to ask, but if it's already going to get blown to smithereens,
Yeah, then that's. I mean, I think that's ours for the
couple
tanking.
with a couple wires missing.
I can ask Maeve, but I'm sure wires, platings. We just need to get that thing flying, and with enough propulsion, hell, I can get a cardboard box up into Atmo.
Excellent. I think Pat hasn't let go of Jojo's hand the whole time.
Joe hasn't made a movement either, and then looks at her set of wheels and goes, "I want to keep doing this. I don't want to let go, but I literally cannot move."
Right. Pat, let's go.
Joe will say, "Wheel me." And it will be the first time anyone's ever wheeled Jojo.
Yeah. Pat walks over and starts pushing Jojo, and we head back to the ship to get it ready to go.
Hell yeah.
It's a good thing nothing bad can happen to me because you're holding Frodo, and that just means
True.
that
And
we're
there
just
was
gonna
a
vibe
beautiful
for a
moment
bit.
here.
Yeah,
Nothing
like you don't
bad
want to.
can happen or
You don't want to spoil that.
No.
He's
Look at him, he's
fully
sleepy.
asleep.
He's so
He's
easy.
fully
He's knocked
asleep in
out
my
cold.
arms.
Mr. Frodo won't be able to see Will's crimes.
He'll still think his dad is perfect in every way because he's asleep for the whole thing.
So that's what Dickie looks like, if you even care.
Yeah,
So
that,
whenever
Yeah, correct. Thank
Just
you.
remember,
Yes.
just remember when you're being mean to Dickie. This is who you're being mean
This
to.
is what you're being mean to.
that does look like someone who
100%.
write poetry.
Perfect little man. He's so wonderful.
He is perfect. He's a good boy. He's a good, sweet boy. He is so eepy.
He's so asleep. Oh,
He has this one spot on his tummy where if I rub it for too long, he just passes the fuck out. It's
I
so
love
good.
him.
Funny, so does Dickie.
Nobody's ever rubbed his tummy before. That's the problem.
Nope.
If only you would. You'd know about
I'm waiting
it.
for Bex. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dickie,
No.
speaking of Dickie, let's check in on that boy, shall we? Where you were walking with Gregor, who turned to you and in a very different voice than what he had spoken with previously. Told you that he knew your mom.
So I think Dickie just stops walking, like really like looks at this man And then he will switch into the Russian that he learned from his mother as a child and will say, "Are you one of mother's yadi? Or are you just a druk?" Which means uncles and friend, respectively. So you know.
More of a friend.
I think that doesn't set Dickie's mind any more at ease. Uncles was worse, but friends is still bad.
I keep an eye on things here. Report back when they are of note.
Will you be reporting me back?
Well, I suppose that depends.
On?
Where your loyalties lie.
I am a true son of tranquility, Gregor. I would like to lie my face off.
Yeah, I think that's what you're gonna have to do,
Okay.
for sure.
Is this face?
It is gonna be face. The move is called fast talk.
Okay. That's a 5.
Okay, 5 is a failure. You can mark XP.
Great.
You're failing forward. He looks at you and he kind of stops walking, and his hand, he doesn't turn to face you. His right hand is out of your immediate view, but you know the sound of somebody like unclipping a holster. Are you?
As much as I can be in the circumstances. I think Dickie is very gently backing up, not trying to be obvious about it, but his little feet are kind of shuffling a little bit.
What is it that you are doing here with this motley?
We are transporting. There is a delivery we're supposed to make.
Medical supplies.
Correct.
Very noble.
Far side.
But how long has it been since you were on Tranquility?
5 years.
Did you know that you are dead?
I'm sorry?
That you are deceased? A tragedy. Your parents were distraught.
I'm sorry, when is this supposed to have occurred?
I believe it was when you were kidnapped by some of your classmates.
How long did they wait to declare me dead?
Not long.
Just tiny shoulders kind of slump. He would have at least hoped that maybe they waited a little bit longer. What is it worth to you to keep it that way? Or what do I need to do?
Oh, he laughs. I would not report you as living. I would not contradict your mother's word, after all.
Is Gregor going to try and kill me? Can I get a read on him?
Yeah, you can get a read on him. That is let's see. That's actually a move. So you're gonna roll with gut.
Oh, good. That's one of my best stats.
Hell yeah, got a good gut.
It's a 3. We're doing great tonight.
Also, just like I don't know if I hold on. Look at this. Look at this.
This is who you are going to murder. Why would you do this?
To be
Look at
fair, I would kill
this.
that thing.
I'm sorry.
Look at it. It's so cute. It's strawberries. It's a big face.
I do
He's
frequently want to
bothered.
destroy Finn because he's so cute. So
He's so asleep.
That is asleep.
Out.
Dreamland.
Yeah, no. I think that it's storming here. I think that freaked him out a little bit, and he just fully passed the fuck out. Sorry, what did you get?
not a success.
Not a success. Okay, mark another XP.
Done.
Cool. Very cool. You can't get a read on Gregor. You heard him unclip his holster. He hasn't continued walking. You're just kind of standing there and speaking together, but he's still kind of half facing away from you, sort of just looking at you out of the corner of his eye. I think when you study him, when you try to get that read on him, with a blur of motion, he presses you against the wall. And he does have a gun pressed. You feel the cold metal of a gun pressed into your stomach as he pins you.
Yeah, I don't think I struggle much. I'm sure we can work something out, Gregor. We just need to deliver these supplies, please.
Where is it you will go after this?
There is a distinct gulp, and Dickie says, "That is up to the captain."
I have heard some talk of your messenger. Who he is, where he has come from, what he can provide. And I think it is not a mistake that you bring him here, you deposit him, and you continue on into the system. Do you want to know what I think?
I don't believe I have a
No.
choice.
I think you will go to Tranquility next. I think that you will steal something. I think that you will make life very difficult for your dear mother.
How can the dead cause the living any concern?
He kind of gives you that smile, that gold-toothed smile again. It says, by coming back to life.
And I am going to... I would love to activate my comms, but I think he will shoot me if I make any sort of forward motion to do so. So I think Dickie is going to drop his voice even lower so that he can barely be heard, hoping to pull Gregor's face in very close to him. And he will say, or I'll say, "You're right. I can tell you what our plan is."
He raises his eyebrows in an "I'm listening" gesture.
He looks around. First, we go to Tranquility. And then he just starts mumbling, not actually saying words, just like mumbling in Russian very low.
The gun is going to dig harder into your abdomen as he says, "Speak up."
We are going to go to Tranquility. We are going to find whatever it is that Mother wants, and we're going to take it from under her nose and the nose of every other moron in the Foundation, and then I'm going to headbutt him in the face.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Luna is not there, but this is the most proud Luna has ever been of Dickie ever.
Roll with spine,
You
baby.
did not know what's happening.
I need this to be the roll. This is the one. I need it to be the
Come
one.
on.
Come
Yep.
on,
Got it.
we got this. All
Yep.
the energy.
Here we fucking
Spirit
go.
bomb.
It's an 8,
Okay.
-1.
Oh yeah.
7. It's still
Hell
a
yeah.
7
Still
though. Is the
7.
thing.
And it's still a success.
Hell yeah. All right. You fucking headbutt him in the face out of nowhere as he ducks in to try to hear what it is you're mumbling. You get an 8. You are, he is off guard. He is bleeding from his nose. Doesn't feel great for you either. But he is so surprised that I think he does take a step backwards on instinct, if only to level the gun at you.
Okay. Dickie is in flight or fight or freeze or fawn mode, and normally he would be scurrying away, but I think all of the talk of Mother has clicked something in him, and he's going to use his the Spetsnaz training that she gave him, and he's going to try and disarm him and shoot this man before running away.
Hell yes. Okay. You are gonna.
Holy.
So first and foremost, you are going to act fast. I do think that the headbutt that you give him, his nose starts bleeding freely, but I think you feel like a cut on your forehead, like you headbutt him, probably directly into like a tooth. You're going to take 1 harm from that, and blood is going to start coming down your face.
Sounds good. And then I will act fast, which
Yes.
is gut.
That is with gut. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
It's a 7.
Okay. 7 is not a failure. 7 is a success. You make it work, but I'm going to impose one of the following. Oh man. All right. You are gonna face a tough choice, a hard bargain, or an ugly outcome. You can take this man's gun from him. Once you do that, he is either going to come at you for real with intent to kill you, or you are going to execute him.
I do not want to kill people.
Yeah,
But
it's a tough choice.
I think what's going on is that Dickie is in. There's a little bit of a flip that's been, or a switch that's been flipped, and he's just like relying on the instinct that was drilled into him. Even though he didn't like those lessons, he hated them. They were the worst part of his childhood. It's still like that muscle memory is there. So I do think he pulls the gun and just ganks him.
It happens so fast, you almost don't even realize what is going on. But you headbutt this man, you feel something sharp hit your forehead, blood starts flowing down over one eye, obscuring your vision slightly. the only thing you have a chance to see through like the half red of your vision, a gun pointed directly at your face as he takes a step back, one hand going up to his nose to stem the blood flow, gun pointed at you. Training kicks in. You grab his wrist. You bend it in the very specific way that your mother taught you, again and again and again. And you feel his grip loosen. You feel the gun slip from his hand. You feel it fall into your grip, heavy and familiar. And before he has a second to react, you put it to his forehead and you pull the trigger.
But before I pull the trigger, I say, "Do svidania." And then I shoot him. Because Mom did teach me to say goodbye to people I'm murdering.
Okay.
It's just
All right.
polite.
Okay. And I think you hear that come out of your mouth. You hear that in your voice. But it doesn't sound familiar. Like there is steel in that voice that you do not feel.
No, I think the second the gun goes off and there's the blowback of blood, he just like drops the gun and it's like activates his comm. Captain, problem, he says in Russian, and he's like, we have a problem. Captain, problem.
And in the aftermath of that, of that blast, in the aftermath of that gunshot, you hear shouts of alarm from all over the command center, from all over the base being raised, and your vision, I think, is sort of swimming in front of your eyes, partially because you're still bleeding from a head wound, and you also have his blood splattered all over your face, but you see people moving towards you, you see other guns pointed at you, and people yelling at you to get down on the ground, to raise your arms, to drop the gun. All of you, I think, from where you are, hear this commotion. You hear the gunshot. You hear the commotion. Cassidy, was that open comms or was that directly for Cassidy?
I've just flipped it on. So if that's
Okay.
open comms,
Open comms,
Open
yeah.
comms.
I think that's fair to say that that's open comms. All of you hear Dickie say something in Russian and then repeat that there's a problem. And you hear people rushing. You hear people raising shouts of alarm.
We're going. We're going.
Oh, yeah.
Just, like,
Yeah.
We're walking this
Running.
way. It's just the immediate
Is it?
swerve. Huh?
Dickie, are you complying?
could I make some kind of roll to determine that?
Yeah, I think you can. I mean, yes, I think you should do this. It's scary, but I think you're gonna have to hold firm and roll
Okay.
with spine.
All right, so I assume if I succeed, I'm going to comply, and if I fail, I'm going to run.
Yeah, I think
That's-
that's fair to say.
I'll also have you know that my spine is still -1. So,
Should do something about that.
Listen.
hey, if I keep failing, maybe I will.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
we'll
have
up
an
that.
idea if this is bad. How bad are we?
So I rolled a 7. -1 is
Minus
6.
one.
No.
It's a 6, but
Can we help out on comms and boost up, like to just
I'll
be like,
say
calm
that-
down?
I'll say that by the time this is happening, you all can get there. Like Dickie did not make
Okay.
it that far away from you all. So if somebody wants to help, you can do
Yeah.
it. You don't have to do it over comms.
For
Yeah.
sure. You are muted, Mallory. You are.
Let's try that again because I was real proud of myself for what I thought was a good idea. Let's go again. Can I use cut and run to try to get Dickie back to the ship without anybody seeing him?
It's too late for that. It's definitely too late for that.
Okay,
I'm
that's
sorry. But he's fully like, people with weapons, automatic weapons, are surrounding him and telling him to get down on the ground because, as far as they can tell, he just shot one of their own.
Mm.
And he is covered in blood at
Yeah.
this point.
Okay.
Question.
Looking
Dick.
real antsy. Looking like
Yes.
he's about to bolt.
Question. Is this is not going to trigger something for me because Dickie is a choking chain for me.
You weren't there for it.
I wasn't there. Okay, cool.
You weren't
Fine.
there
I just
for
double,
it.
just double check.
He did technically take 1 harm, but you were not present for it.
We don't.
Okay,
We don't need that.
So-
right
We
now.
were having our moment while that
So there actually doesn't need to
I don't want to
be.
be. I don't want to be surprised. I don't want to be surprised.
Right.
Doesn't need to be a war with Mars. Padlock's just going to decapitate the Martian leadership in one go.
Right after Joe was like, "You're not a threat. I
Yeah.
love you. Things are great.
No,
You're
Yeah.
not a weapon."
Activate.
Yeah.
All right. So I would like to move up. Sort of just muscle in so that Dickie can see me.
Cool. So you are adding just +1 to make it a 7?
Hold on.
Can we all give a point, or does it have to be one person?
It
Giving
says
all?
one crew member who
okay.
isn't doing anything right now can come to help you.
Heard.
But I will say this.
Okay,
I do
so
think that
I
will say this.
What's up?
I do think that JoJo and Padlock are closer technically, because Cassidy and Luna had already started going back to the ship
Okay.
before you had to
Okay.
turn back.
Okay, sure. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean-
Okay.
Then go
Then
for it.
I'm here to help.
yeah. I think
Um,
Joe asks Pat, "Ram me through." I got it. Like fully doing the thing of like hitting people in the shins, like move, move, move.
Out of the way.
And Joe, thankfully being
Oh.
shorter, like, "Dick, come down, breathe, It's gonna be okay."
Hyperventilating. I think-
so.
How much do I? Yeah, 3.
+1 will get it to a 7. If you want to get it to a 10, you could try, but there are going to be a lot of consequences.
We're already in Ramwich City, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of consequences.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's. I think you'd have to add +4.
Yeah.
What's their
There's no
chain? What's their chain?
That is the next question that I was going to ask. Is
Yeah.
what is the chain between JoJo and
We're
Dickie?
taught. So
You're taught. Okay.
yeah, we're not choking. I don't have choking with anyone anymore.
Okay.
So you add
so
2?
That's good.
I have a 2 heat.
The helping crew member suffers the consequences, and we add the lower of the heat to the roll being helped. The lower of the 2 heats, which is
It's both two.
so it's +2, so that's good. So then you would only need to add 2 more,
Okay.
but you will need to establish that means that JoJo is going to take the consequences.
I'm fully okay with that.
Okay.
I'd be happy to maybe take some damage in terms of like just moving my way through the crowd and maybe even like suffering some harm from the guards throwing their like arms on me, and then I'm almost kind of causing my own distraction, but I'm sitting there going, what can I do? I don't have anything on me, and like trying to like cause that scene and get riled up, but like also focusing Dickie's breath and like trying to get him to calm down while focusing more attention.
I think my thought for if you want to do the taking 1 harm thing, I think what's going to happen is that in trying to push you through the crowd that's assembling around him, you're going to be like thrown from the chair,
That's fine.
JoJo.
Yeah.
And so you're going to hit the ground, and you're going to hit the ground hard, and you're going to take 1 harm from that.
This is a lot of Joe having to swallow pride, but in an effort to get Dickie to focus, she's going to say, "Doc, I hurt my arm. Can you help me out? Can you?"
There's one more consequence that we have to figure out. You're not in the ship, so I think it's going to have to be something important breaks and must be repaired. You heat your chain, the chain tightens.
Chair breaks.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Chair breaks. JoJo takes 1 harm, but that 6 becomes a 10, and you hear one of your crew members calling for help.
think that does tunnel vision Dickie a little bit, and there is a lot of stimulation going on right now, a lot of noise and things being shouted at him, and I think he sees Jojo go down and just like gets on his knees, gets on his face, hands on the back of his head, and he meets Jojo's eyes. And he's just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Jojo puts her hands up and like also matching in the prisoner position so they'll both get arrested. And just goes, "Hey, it's okay. Figure this out. You haven't broken anything. It's gonna be all right. Figure it out. Keep breathing. We're here. Pad's right here."
That man is broken. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And Dickie just sort of just starts like making vocalizations that aren't actually words. He's just like processing with noises.
Joe will risk it and like rubs Dickie's back as like a calm emotion and just like, shh, it's okay. Like doing the same breathing exercises that he makes her do constantly, and just tries to mimic like slow breaths up until the point we get arrested.
I think that is Dickie, the voices that are shouting things at you start to fade, and it's just you and Jojo, but also from where you are in the ground, where you were lying on the ground, your eyes meet the cold, lifeless eyes of Gregor.
Don't look at him, look at me. Don't look at him, look at me.
And it fades from there. You don't, everything after that is a blur. Everything after that just fades away. You feel hands on your back. You feel hands putting your hands behind your back, restraints being put on you. Feel yourself being hauled to your feet, pulled away. And I think the next thing you hear, you feel your arms twisted into an uncomfortable position. You feel your arms twisted into an uncomfortable position. Sorry, I had to slightly shift this kitten.
How dare.
I know. You feel your arms twisted into an uncomfortable position. You feel you're sitting in a chair. Your arms are restrained behind your back. You're in a dark room, alone. And you can hear voices outside of the door. And we're going to transition outside of the door where Cassidy, any of you that want to be there, but specifically
I'll be there.
Cassidy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm there.
Can Joe be there, or is she some
Joe,
cool?
Joe can be there, but your chair is broken. So I think someone might be having to help you.
Yeah, I think she's like holding on to Pad, like one arm and like limping. Yeah. Like it's like she walks on stilts essentially. Yeah.
And Maeve is saying to you, Cassidy, to all of you, I don't know what you want me to do. He shot one of them in the head. He shot a man in the head. Killed him.
Yeah, and that's not him. So I need to know what the fuck happened.
But there had to be a good reason. Like, the doc just wouldn't do that. He's not that type of fella.
I'm all ears. I met this man today. And I'll admit, he didn't seem like the murdering type. But you gotta understand, this isn't a military hierarchy. I'm not a general. He killed one of them. He killed one of their own. People here are volunteers. A lot of them used to be soldiers, but not all of them. The only thing that unites them is that they call this place home. And he killed one of them.
Who was that?
Gregor?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Where's he from?
I mean,
one of them.
Originally, or
Yeah, and
'cause
how long
most-
has he been here?
most
Yeah.
folk around here come from most folk around here come from somewhere else. Gregor, as far as I know, he was here from the beginning. He was part of the garrison back during the war. Most of these men are. They were Earth Coalition forces. They got left behind here. Some of them are the children. But Gregor wasn't a young man.
Maeve,
Can I talk to him? You can have someone in there with me. I don't care. Let me talk to him.
Maeve turns her head and she looks where there are still a large collection of the soldiers standing around, kind of like eyeing the room darkly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll see what I can do. And she'll walk over to talk to them.
Captain, I talked to Dickie right before he went down. He was scared. He wasn't
Yeah.
angry. He didn't.
Yeah, nothing about Dickie is angry. Not angry enough to kill a man. Not without a reason.
In the 5 minutes, something happened. Should have gone with him. Okay. I think he is, like, Cassidy is very, like, tight, very rigid. He's keeping his hands away from his gun very purposefully.
Mhm.
Because heaven and earth to make sure that these four are okay.
What are we gonna
he's-
do what are we gonna do if they don't let him go?
They're not taking him. They're not
No.
keeping him here.
No way now.
Listen, we've made daring escapes before.
Do it again.
They want our help. They want our help. Well, Maeve wants our help. If that's still true, then well, they better just let my boy go.
Maeve walks back over to you all. One of the soldiers is walking with her. He is decidedly older than a lot of the others. His hair is on the longer side, fully gray, almost like a silver color at this point, but he still appears to be in excellent shape. He has very shrewd, piercing eyes. And I think as you look at him, it becomes clear to you pretty quickly that both of them have been replaced, and they are cybernetic in nature. You can see some significant scarring around the eye sockets also, which leads you to believe that this was not like a vanity job.
Right.
This was
This is
a wound.
necessary. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And Maeve will sort of gesture to him, look at you almost apologetically, and I'll say, "This is Carradine. Cassidy, you want to talk to your man?" And Carradine will interrupt and will say in a very sort of deep, raspy voice, "That's fine, but I want to be in there with you."
That's fine. Did you know Gregor?
Yeah. Last 30 years, I knew Gregor.
I am sorry for your loss. Truly. But there's something amiss here, so I'd like to get to the bottom of it. If you would.
And he will open the door. Dickie, you see an unfamiliar man dressed like a soldier. standing in front of you. The light is a little bit piercing since you've been in this pitch black room for you don't know how long, but he steps in, and then you see the familiar shape of your captain behind him. He follows him into the room, and Gregor will reach over, and I'm sorry, not Gregor. Carradine will flip a control on the wall, and lights come on in the room. A little bit blinding for you, Dickie. Yeah.
I'm going to move over to him, looking him over. I'm going to make sure that my hands are visible at all times so that Carradine doesn't think that I'm up to anything strange. Hey, look at me. I know it's bright. Look at me.
Even in the brightness, it's big eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey. Gonna check you. Okay. Head wound. Superficial. What happened?
I think as you're like talking and asking these questions, you just see tears, just silent. He's not making any noise anymore. It's just out of the big old eyes, tears, blood. And I would like to, if I could, make another roll just to see if he's functional and able to speak.
That's going to be another hold firm roll. That's going to be with spine.
Great. No.
What?
That's
what
a 6.
What is it? It's a 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I can help with at least one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just to get him to the point where he can speak.
Yeah.
You got to choose. Are you choking?
No, we're taught.
Okay, cool. So then, what's the lowest of the 2 heats? 2. Okay, cool. Then in that case, I think you are going to have to. I think you are going to have to choose one consequence.
Okay.
The obvious ones, aside from taking harm or something breaking, would be heating your chain or tightening your chain.
You want to heat that bad boy?
Yeah, let's heat it.
Okay. And this is going to be you. You are going to suffer the consequence, Cassidy. So you're going to heat your chain with Dickie.
Yep. All
right. So you're up to a 3.
Yeah.
And Dickie, that is going to get you to a 7, which means that, technically that's going to get you to a 9, but not quite to a 10, which means that you are going to do it, but I choose 1. And I think you are going to be able to. Oof! Wow! All right. Well.
Love to hear that.
Gosh. Listen.
Are they all bad, or are you like, there's so many to choose from? You can't
no, I think I think I know what I'm gonna do, and I feel a little bad about it. That's all.
No.
I feel a little bad about it. Something you were using.
Wait, hold on, time out. Hold on.
Yeah,
what's
up?
Okay.
What's up?
But what if though? We also just made our chain joking. What if we just did that? What if that happened instead? I don't want you to have that power right now.
It would be a 10. If you want to add another +1 and tighten your chain to choking, that would be a 10.
I feel like this is a pretty tense moment. So yeah, that feels fitting.
Right. Your chain tightens. It is choking.
Does that count for me as well, or is it just for?
Because you are because you are not at choking already, it only applies to Cassidy.
Okay.
So Cassidy, that is choking for you. Although, now that I'll have to look into it after the fact, I'm not sure that that works if it's just one person. But anyway, point is, it's choking, and that is a 10. So, Tiki, you find yourself coming back to your senses a little bit now that Cassidy is here.
I think Cass has knelt down. So he's, by your side at your level, a little lower. So he's not just like looming. I think he has taken your face and has wiped the tears a little bit. Hey.
I think Dickie is flashing back to a conversation they had just a few days ago about crime and the things that he's supposed to do and not supposed to do. And I think his first reaction to this is simply, I didn't have time to talk to you. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Tell me what happened.
I was supposed to get a vaccine from Gregor, but he pulled a gun on me because he works with my mother.
Carradine scoffs and says, "That's ridiculous. Why would he pull a gun on you? He didn't even know you."
No, he did, because of who my mother is and our relationship. He's been reporting to her for years.
That would explain the Russian, okay?
Who exactly is your mother?
My mother is Dr. Alexandra Tereshkova. She's part of the civilian government of Tranquility.
So, let me get this straight. Your explanation for this is that Gregor was a double agent reporting to Tranquility higher ups the last 3 decades that I've known the man, and that he pulled a gun on you.
Yes.
Let's walk through the conversation.
According to Gregor and my parents and the Tranquility government, I am legally dead. And as our plan is to go back to Tranquility, that could cause significant problems for my mother. And I believe that Gregor had decided that it was easier if I remained deceased. Legally and then physically.
Did he? Okay.
I don't think you quite understand exactly how powerful my mother is. And he's looking at Carradine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Cassidy would know.
Yeah, Cassidy knows. Yeah.
She has influence, and she believes that information is power. Frankly, Gregor probably isn't the only one here. I didn't kill him because I wanted to. I killed him because the option was him or me. And although I may be dead on Tranquility, I am very much alive here and would like to stay that way.
Tyrion studies you with those cybernetic eyes, the pupils kind of narrowing to pinpoints, and then back out, oscillating back in, back out a couple times as he studies you. He says, well, you ain't lying.
We came here to help, and I would still like to do that. And if there are consequences, so be it, but I would appreciate if we could help first.
How close was he to Maeve?
Gregor?
Yeah.
Not very.
Okay.
Look, you're telling the truth as far as you're concerned. I knew the man for 30 years. I didn't say I liked him.
I've known my mother for about that amount of time, and I don't think I like her either.
So, what do we do next? I'm looking at Carradine.
It's not exactly my call to make. But Farside still needs that medicine. I'll fill Maeve in. You think there are still people here who report to your mother?
Mother was big on cats jumping on shoulders and redundancy plans.
It's understandable. Stop.
But father.
Not that, my boy.
Mighty hunter.
He's trying to get the earrings out of my ears. He's confused about them.
You know how Frodo feels about jewelry.
It's like you got
Sure.
things in your ears. Those shouldn't be there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of big feelings about earrings from Frodo.
You say that there are still people in the... You think that there are still people here. Report to your mother. How would we go about finding them?
That's a very good question. I assume I could, based on what I've learned about the way she operates, have at least some kind of idea of her general methods. So I assume I would just be like, this, and this are pretty good signs. Watch for people who are financially compromised, which is a silly thing to say here on Mars. But also, people who have lived on Tranquility, people who have an interest in X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. Those are the likely types.
He nods, takes that in, considers it for a second, nods, and is going to open the door and walk out of the room. Those of you on the outside, Padlock, Luna, Jojo, you see Carradine walk out and walk over to Maeve and start talking to her in low, hushed tones. But he will shut the door behind him, leaving Cassidy and Tiki alone in the room.
I didn't see it coming.
take this for the compliment it is. I'm proud of you. I know you're not happy about it. I know it
killed
doesn't
him.
feel good. I know it doesn't feel good. But you stood up for yourself. You survived.
It just, I need to know that it was worth it. Why is Gregor not as important as I am? Why is he not special?
It's not a matter of special or more important. Really. It's do or don't. But if you want to put importance on it, you're important to me. You're important to Luna, Padlock, Jojo. You're a part of the crew. You're part of our family. So, Lil Dicky, I'm glad you chose you over Gregor.
I think I am too.
Good.
And then I think we're gonna ugly cry and just like go into Cassidy's shoulder.
Sure. Yeah, immediately, like just arms around.
We're just gonna let all of our big emotions out of our tiny body.
Absolutely, you are. And I think it is. Shit. I think it is fair to say that as you are leaning into Cassidy's shoulder and you are ugly crying and your eyes are closed, Dicky, that last image of Gregor's dead, unseeing eyes lying on the ground, staring into yours, is impossible to get out of your head. That is where we're going to end this episode.
Yeah.
See, so it's the
Of
smile.
course it fucking
Yes,
is.
it's
It's
that.
the
Of course it fucking
smile
is.
as you say the worst shit.
It's because I feel bad. It's because I feel bad.
That's it. Yep.
I
It
know
is,
that
yeah,
face
no.
exactly, and it sucks being on this end of it. It's amazing on the other end.
Yeah, I know, right? It's real
It's-
nice
it's-
from the other side, but then you're on this side, and it's like, well, this is kind of bullshit, huh?
It's the guilt. It's the I'm gonna say something really awful.
I'm about to ruin their fucking day.
I'm still
Yeah.
gonna say it though. Is the thing I'm still
Yeah.
gonna say it.
Of
Because of
course.
the story.
I expected nothing less.
Yeah. No, you have to. Them's the rules.
Because of the story. Because of the story. I have to. I can't disappoint your favorite GM's favorite GM.
Dude, this is true. This is real and valid.
Yep.
Real and valid, and you should say that.
It's
I should say that. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Nephilim Tenebris for another couple of weeks, I think. We've had a great time tonight. I've had a great time tonight. I hope you all have had a great time tonight.
yeah.
Frodo's had a great time tonight. He's here as well.
And that's what
Yeah.
truly
Next
matters.
Magical boy.
That is what truly matters. He
True.
lunged for the headphone cables as I said that. Here he is. Look at this boy.
Look at
So
him.
sweet boy.
What a little
Um,
guy.
Wonderful.
We're gonna go around and we'll do outroductions,
Long boy.
and then we'll rate somebody. So, Alex, what do you have going on?
Hi, I'm Alex. I've been inmate number 345, Dr. Richard Courtney.
Oh.
What do I have going on? Not a lot. A lot of background things. It's fine. I'm here when we play this game, which is great. There's writing going on. There is the eternal scheduling gods to appease to maybe make things happen. So far, they don't like me, but that's fine. I'm offering up more sacrifices of my own human energy and time, and hopefully that will appease them. But otherwise, yeah, that's it. This has been fun. Even I like when you put me in terrible positions and then let me make the worst choice. So thank
I know
you.
you do, buddy. I know you do. Anytime.
Phrasing?
It's my pleasure.
Oh
Nope. No, we're not doing phrasing. That's exactly how it was
we're
intended.
not cowards anymore. We're embracing it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, my bad.
Eli.
Hi. Hello. My name is Eli. I was playing Padlock today. What am I doing? You can catch me tomorrow on Chaotic Wholesome. I will be picking up a Pride game of Monster Hearts. We will be doing that shenanigans. More importantly, this Saturday, come and join us at Mayday Roleplay on YouTube. We are playing Vampire the Masquerade. We're returning back to our Vegas by Night campaign. We had an awesome first session a couple of weeks ago, and we're just back at it again. Other than that, I do a bunch of other stuff. You can follow me on the socials at A Ghost of Eli. I do a lot of writing. I post articles about labor and APs and other stuff like that. So if you enjoy those kinds of things, just follow me there, and I will keep you abreast on those situations.
Yeah. Mallory.
Hi, I'm Mallory. I've been Luna Larson or Indy tonight. Outside of seeing me every other week right here. Tomorrow night we have episode 4 of You're Invited, which is my Call of Cthulhu show that I run on Rediscovery RPG that I own, which asks the question, if a very beautiful femme that has ties to a cult ran her own game of Saw for her birthday, what would happen? So you can see me there. I also have on Thursday, I'm at Lost Caravan playing Don't Rest Your Head, which is a really fun horror game we're doing a one shot of that night. Next week, but before you see me back here, I am in a PvP community game night for Unbalanced Encounter. So if you want to check that out, we're doing it on the stage in there. It's winner takes all, last one standing. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping I win. And that is in the Unbalanced Encounters Discord community night. I am also their external producer, so you can see my production work for their podcast over Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you consume actual play podcast content. And outside of that, I am organizing a charity event for the end of August. So if you want to be a part of it, it's called Crits for a Cause. And this one is going to be raising money for Palestinian relief funds. So if you want to be a part of it, there should be a form up on Twitter and you can go fill it out. And I'm looking for players and GMs and any way people want to help. And I think that's it.
Yeah. Q.
Well, hi, hello there. I'm Q. Tonight, I played everyone's dad, Captain Cassidy, Star Runner. When I'm not here, you can find me out on the internets at Midnight Inc. That is Midnight_INQ. Q is my name. I'm sure you get it. Say it with me. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. I keep making cowboys. Let's see, what's next? I think we're pretty light this week. So you can see me again over on Sunday at RPGs Uncovered, where I'm continuing in the Starcrier conflict. I just got married. My cowboy got hitched, so that's a good time. And then we should be back, hopefully, with They Call Us Villains next week. Fingers crossed, let's hope. And then, other than that, I am a part of the production team for Tales from the Table Studios. We do have projects in the works, so keep eyes out for that. They just finished Cognizance this last weekend. And also, there's going to be a new channel coming up soon. I can't say a whole lot, but there is a series it's called using the City of Mist system called Mist Connections. It's a lot of fun. I'm playing a raven. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah. All right. Perfect. Q. Thank you. Rose.
Howdy. I am Rose. I was JoJo today. Besides here on LFTA, you can catch me on alternating Tuesdays for Entropy Emporiums. They call us villains. I'll be guesting and terrorizing Q and Q specifically. Will there be other things? Who knows? I lurk. So I don't have much to announce. All I can say is I hope you enjoyed it. Be nice to yourself and be nice to others. But like Dickie, stand up for yourself. That's it for me.
It's
But
true.
maybe not so much that you murder a man.
No,
Shoot a man
absolutely,
in the head is what we're saying.
Absolutely, make sure you murder that guy.
If
The
someone
spectrum.
tries to
The
kill
spectrum.
you kill them right back.
Yes.
Same.
Hello, hi. First and foremost, Yeecaw is very good. This is
Yeecaw!
this is Frodo.
Yeecaw!
Hi. I'm not important. This is Frodo. He's the only thing that matters. Hi. Don't. Hi, hello. My name is Will. I ran this game tonight. It's also a pretty light week for me. Thursday, you can catch me over at Entropy Emporium, which has been mentioned a couple times tonight, running God Complex, Grow by Moonlight game about piloting the corpses of dead gods, which have been made into mech suits. And last time, it was our first episode. This is only our second episode. First episode did not get to pilot dead gods into battle. This week, we will be piloting dead gods into battle. I could guarantee it. So check that out. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a good time. Fantastic game, fantastic crew, great channel, Entropy Emporium. Other than that, things are pretty quiet here live from the apocalypse. Next, the 27th, we will be back with Class Reunion, but that is pretty much the next thing that we have going on. There's some stuff in the works. There's some charity things specifically coming up in early August, but can't really talk about any of those yet. But that's pretty much everything. You can find me, and more importantly, pictures of this sweet boy at a Will M Scream pretty much everywhere on the internet. And I think that's gonna do it for me. That's everything that I have to talk about. But we're gonna disappear in just a second. We're gonna raid some friends. I think we're gonna raid No Man. Streaming a Thirsty Sword Lesbians.
Nice.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But last night, it's a good time.
Hell yeah, it is. That's it for us. Say good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night,
night,
everybody.
everybody.
Night,
everybody.
I did forget to say there are social links in the chat. There's a Discord link in the chat, but none of that is important. Good night, everybody. See you next time. So long.